one of my students had brought in a copy of, it was in those days they had LPs called, they were 33 and a half, and you put them on phonographs. And she sneaked in a phonograph of His Divine Grace of Srila Prabhupada singing the Hare Krishna mantra. And I chastised her severely. I said, this ashram is for our guru, and we don't bring other gurus' materials in, just as we do today here. So we don't bring other gurus' materials. So if you want to remain living here, you give me that record, otherwise you can take the record and take yourself out. So she gave me the record, and I looked at it and I said, yeah, and I put it in the closet. Just for a reason that I didn't even know what the reason was, but Krishna had a plan in mind, as he always does. I was totally blank-minded at that time. The normal thing for me to have done would be to throw it in the trash can, but I didn't do that. I put it in the closet. There was a time not too long after having received the two books that I had, having gotten the phonograph record, that I decided to take a rather lengthy fast. There was some problem with occurring to some person, and I wanted very much to both pray and fast for that person who needed a lot of help. And I thought that this was a good time, that period was a good time to do that. And so I began the fast. It was for a good time. When I say fast, I mean no food, just water. And during that time, things can get a little boring at times because you don't have much energy to do very much except possibly read. And even then your mind gets a little bit blankish because the energy is just not flowing through as it normally might be. So as I was lying down, I thought, what is that record? Why did she even bring it in? What was the purpose? What attracted her? So I took the record out and I put it on the phonograph machine and I played it. And it was Srila Prabhupada playing that, you know, with I'm not sure where it was taken. I think it was that same, I don't know if it was on the George Harrison album. Is there a...
There was a Happening album before that was released in New York City in 1969.
Prabhupada sings Hare Krishna, yes. Hare Krishna. Okay, so that was the... And the devotees are singing in the background. I think they're all male devotees at that time. So I heard it and I looked at it kind of somewhat critically, not wanting to yield my true emotions or express what I was truly feeling, which was actually quite enjoyable. But because I didn't want to make any offenses to my previous spiritual master, I kind of maintained my critical feelings about it. Not bad, yeah, it's okay. And then let me hear it again, you know, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. I was listening to it all day. It was hypnotic, it was magnetic, and it was magnificent. So I was completely combined with the books that I had read about Krishna, and plus the recording and the music and the whole sense of Krishna consciousness. I was already I was what you might call a ripe fruit, ready to be eaten by Srila Prabhupada. He had stolen my heart by the enchanting way in which he was singing and the devotees were singing. And again, I began to feel more and more that I wanted to be a part of this. So I believe it was a Thursday in late January, I wandered over to the Hare Krishna 12-story building I think it was 55th Street between 9th and 10th Avenue. Because my ashram was on 56th Street between Lexington and Park Avenue. So it was a good maybe half-mile walk. And I went over there and I began speaking to the devotee who was at the desk. And we had a very nice conversation. And then I just left and wondered. I was just in a mood of wonder at that point. I saw devotees coming in and coming out and chanting Hare Krishna. You know, those were the days of sheer fanaticism. Everybody was chanting and Haribol-ing and Haribol. Oh, how'd you do? How many books did you get out? This is all going on in the background. The door was opening and closing. I said, this is wonderful. I like the whole mood of this place. Anyway, I left. Came back the next night. It was, coming back was very much like putting the record on again and listening to it and becoming more impressed and more enthused and more enlivened each time thereafter. So I came back and I talked to, the person I talked to, his name was Kapindra, and he gave me a lot of information about the chanting process, the worship process, and the devotional process, and how it differs from what I was involved in. So that was on that day, and I then decided very shortly after, it could have been a week later, that I wanted to actually leave. So I gave my notice to my previous spiritual master, and I told him quite frankly that you're not teaching what I want to be absorbed in. I just want to develop pure love for Krishna. That's all I'm interested in. And I've reached a point where I don't feel that this place is suitable for that. And that the focus here is more on a commercial presentation of yoga. And I really don't want to be a part of this. For example, Bhaktivedanta Swami, I had learned that he never would charge for classes. You just go in there, you sit down, and you listen. Nor do any of the devotees charge to sit down and listen to class. And I felt that that's the way it should be, because actually God gives these teachings to us freely, and that we should have this mood of charitable offering, that it should never be a bar for anyone to come because they don't have money.